The next interview is with Bob Parente.
Hello, my name is Gene Horton. I'm at the Bayport-Blue Public Library. It's May 22nd, 2013, and we're here today interviewing longtime Blue Pointer Bob Parente, Robert Parente. So we welcome Bob, and I'll just start by asking Bob to give his full name and where and when you were born.
Okay, I was born in May 27th, 1935, in Patchogue, in a luncheonette which my father owned. I was born in a back room.
Wow. And how long did you live in Blue Point, or during what years were you in Blue Point?
Well, we moved to Blue Point about 1937, and I lived there from 1937 to approximately 1948 when we moved again.
Wow.
And then I came back to Blue Point. A year in Patchogue, came back to Blue Point. I think my parents left. I left Blue Point 1959 when I got married.
That's a long time. And did you graduate from Bayport?
Yeah, I graduated from Bayport High School.
And what year was that?
That was 1954.
The class of 1954.
Yeah.
You know, we have all the yearbooks here at the library.
I know,
that.
we browsed through them.
Yeah, it's a wonderful collection. And I know for many years you worked for the Blue Point Post Office.
Oh, yes, 30.
30 years at the post office. Yeah. So you really know Blue Point pretty well. All right, so why don't we start and just tell us what you remember about Blue Point a long time ago, or whatever other things you wanted to talk about today.
Well, Gene, I can remember, I was only 3 years old, but the 1938 hurricane was coming through.
Ooh.
And we lived in Tony Ferry's gas station, the Sphinx.
Yeah.
And I can remember my father holding me in his arms because my sister was going to Blue Point School. And they blew the siren that the kids were coming home. So I can remember my father holding me, waiting for my sister, and then we all stood in the doorway watching some trees come down in the wind.
Wow.
And that's about my first memory.
And that's where the Sphinx was.
That's where the Sphinx was.
Behind the bay, right?
Yeah,
windows.
Yeah.
That was quite a thing.
Sphinx. And then from there, Tony Ferry had just got married. He needed a place to live, so we had to move, and we moved to Bell Avenue.
Oh, that's good. And that's where you lived a long time, Bell Avenue.
Yeah.
Boy, that's wonderful. That's really great. So what else do you want to talk about today? The post office or Walt Mitchell's store?
You know, I would, yeah, definitely. I mean, Walt Mitchell's store was when I was becoming a teenager, more or less. That was about 1949, and Walt opened his store. And as guys, we used to gather there, keep all our athletic equipment under a stand that he had where he put the newspapers. Go out during the summer, play a little baseball. In the winter, of course, we met there after school. Just a good time with Walter and the ladies. Mrs. Mitchell was a beauty. And Mrs. Bunk, she was Mrs. Mitchell's sister.
Wow.
And they were great people. They tolerated us. I don't know how, especially Walt.
And that store moved around, right?
Yeah, Walter actually started, he had his little store with Don McLaughlin.
Okay.
Where, I don't know what's in there now, but the Tischlermeister was there. He built cabinets.
Oh, yeah.
Walt started there, him and Mac, and then they moved down to next to where the barber shop is.
Yeah. I think it's a counter, like a kitchen cabinet place today or something.
I think it is. I can't remember now.
Interior designs, but it's a nice business today.
Yeah.
But that was Walt Mitchell's in the old days.
Yeah,
and then Kavanaugh's.
And then he moved to Kavanaugh's, which was, what the heck was it then when Walter bought it? I think it was a deli.
Oh, it was a deli.
Or
I didn't
bakery.
know that.
Ralph Pedrick, which was an old.
What was his name?
Ralph Pedrick.
Pedrick. No,
he had a bakery there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things move around.
Yeah, they move around. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And Walt had a counter there, didn't he? Like soda counter.
Oh, yeah. He had a big counter there.
Yeah, magazines.
Cards. He had tables. In the original one, he had
Could you get a hamburger there?
Not
food?
really. He had sandwiches.
More sandwiches.
But he didn't have, I don't believe he had a grill. I can't remember it.
Yeah.
But it was soda and coffee, cake,
and newspapers.
Newspapers and magazines. That's why we called it the library annex.
Yeah.
We used to sit down and read Walt's magazine.
Was there a public telephone in there? A lot of the old deli or old...
Yeah, there was.
They had a public phone booth?
There was a phone booth there. I think it was in the back. I'm trying to remember. But there was a phone booth.
I remember Nicholson's had 2 phone booths over here.
Yeah.
And probably Walt had one up there, too.
Yeah, I know he had one there, but...
Walt Mitchell.
Yeah, it was... he was our friend. I don't know if you ever watched the... what was it? The Our Gang movies, but they used to have a stationery store owner by the name of Yitzel. We used to call Walt Yitzel.
Yitzel.
Brooklyn accent.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they were from Brooklyn, I think. Yeah. Brooklyn people. Yeah. But a lot of people locally were from Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
I think, like my family started out as summer people here, and then we moved out permanently.
My mother was born in Brooklyn.
She was Brooklyn?
Yeah, she was born in Brooklyn.
And then they moved out here.
Yeah.
Gee, that's amazing.
It's great times.
Yeah. What can you tell us about Bobby Brandis? That's a real good story.
Well, Bobby was a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he was older than me. He was like a brother. We used to play in the woods, just regular boy games and soldiers and stuff. And he went to Bayport High School. He was in Bayport High School during the Korean War.
Right.
And he got out and joined the Army. He went airborne. He was with the 82nd Airborne Division. And was sent to Japan. And from Japan, the Korean War broke out, and he went to Korea. And in 1953, he went on a mission, and he never returned. Oh. And Bobby is someplace in Korea yet. And that was, it was very, it was troubling. I mean, the Blue Point's was a small town, and it affected all of us, especially myself, my mother, my father, because we knew Bobby. But never found. I kept in contact with his sister Carol, but I lost her address. She moved, and I lost contact.
Is she married now, or does she use that name?
I don't believe she's married.
It's easier to find her if she didn't get married.
I don't believe she did. No,
yeah, she'll still use her maiden name.
Yeah, Carol Brandis.
Carol Brandis.
Yeah. And I had an email address for her, but she just moved and everything.
And they lived on Bell, right? The Brandis family. The house is still there.
Oh yeah, they lived. I lived on the north end of Bell Avenue, and they lived on the south end.
Okay.
And we had moved to Park Street. In the meantime, the Brandis family moved to a home owned by Etta Arthur. And about a year later, we moved right behind them.
Wow.
In a little cottage in between.
So they kind of grew up together.
So we grew up together. But
and what happened to Bobby's brother? He had a brother.
Bobby's brother, he went to Korea a couple of times trying to get some information, but Bobby's brother Harry was a World War II vet, so I believe he passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe he passed away.
So there were 3 children there, really, and Carol's the other one.
Yeah. Carol was the brat. She always chased us around. She was only a little.
Well, I know there's a brick to Bobby outside the library here in the pavement. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
And he's remembered. He's remembered on Memorial Day. I know his name is read off here at the firehouse.
Good. Yeah.
Every Memorial Day. Blue Point never had that many war dead. But Bobby is one of them.
Bobby's one, and then, of course, in Vietnam, it was Kevin Dugan.
Kevin Dugan in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And then I think in World War II we lost a couple of men there.
There was I think there was one individual who was lost in an accident, and another one was ill.
Yeah, that was,
Griffith Owen.
Griffith Owen was ill, yeah. He died in service during World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah. That's, there was a lot, you talk about war. I grew up during World War II, if I can just say a little bit about it.
Yeah, of course.
I was only 6 years old when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor and drew us into World War II.
Yeah.
And I knew a lot of excitement around. I was, like I said, 6 years old. I'm looking at all the excitement, a little bit of fear, a little bit of anxiety. What's going on?
Sure.
But as time progressed, I noticed changes.
Yeah.
Like blackouts.
Yeah, blackouts.
Curfews.
We had those in Blue Point, huh?
Sure.
Blackouts.
There was, you had to have black shades.
Yeah.
Street lights were out.
No street lights.
Traffic lights were limited.
Probably because of the bay here, right, in the ocean.
Right, yeah. And there was rationing. And rationing, I don't know I guess the older people remember it, but the younger ones, you ration food, clothing, fuel oil, gas.
Yeah.
And you got a stamp, and when that stamp was over and you didn't have any, you waited.
Yeah.
Spare parts for automobiles was hard.
Wow.
It was a time like between 1939 and 1948. Blue Point stood still. There were still people using horses to do gardening, plowing gardens and
did you have a victory garden?
Oh, everybody did.
Everybody did.
Sure, everybody did. And that was fun, too. We used to go around stealing tomatoes and cantaloupe, things like that. It was for us kids, really. We didn't know what was going on. We knew it was serious.
Yeah.
Men disappeared.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there were no men.
Gone in service.
Yeah, I went in service, and ladies kind of took over. But the ladies were working in defense plants.
Yeah.
But it was a fun time. I remember we used to go to Montauk Highway and Bell Avenue and sit on the curb, bring comic books and fool around, play games, and wait for convoys to go through.
Really?
Every once in a while, convoys would be going east, probably to Camp Upton, and out to Fort Hero, Montauk Point.
Sure.
And we'd see them, we'd stand up and yell and shout.
Yeah.
And they'd throw things at us, cans and little cookies. And later on in my lifetime, I found those things that we were making a big deal over were sea rations, which I kind of got sick of after a while.
Yeah, right.
But it was a fun time.
Do you remember old Mr. Gert Seema?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, he was a character.
Oh, sure. I started working in the post office in Blue Point when he was just about ending his trips up that hill with the wagon full of mail.
Yeah, up the hill.
Yeah, I remember one time he went up there and put the bag in the catcher, I guess you call it, and the train grabbed it and it broke loose, and we went from Blue Point to about River Avenue and Patchogue picking up mail.
Picking up the mail.
But Mr. Gertzinger was a great man.
Yeah, he was.
He was a butcher. He had a butcher store, I think, where Joe Tomei's liquor store was, or where the liquor store now is.
Yeah.
And I think he started out on the buildings on Montauk Highway that rode by the Evans Dairy.
Would he go up there twice a day to get the mail? Is that?
Yeah,
I never knew that worked.
I guess I don't know if he picked up the mail. He picked up the mail in the morning because they used to have a drop in the morning by train. Yeah. And then at night, there was outgoing mail that he would take to the station.
Because I know in the old days on the railroad, they had a mail car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A mail car right on the train, which you never see anymore.
No.
It's all trucked out here.
Yeah, that's gone. But it was a mail car, and a lot of times, Patchogue was a big center for that. I mean, the train would stop, go on the side, and they'd load it with parcels.
And then in the mail car, did they actually work in there sorting the mail as it was moving?
Yeah,
they did.
There's a carrier and a gentleman from Blue Point by the name of John Schwertle.
Oh, yeah.
And John got out of the military, out of was discharged in World War II. He got a job in the post office, and his job was running the mail on a train from New York to Montauk Point in New York. And he said all that distance they were sorting mail.
Sorting mail.
Yeah, he picked the train up in New York City, Grand Central, I guess.
Yeah.
Go all the way out to Montauk Point, and all the way back to New York City. That was one day. And
so the mail just didn't lay in those cars and sacks.
No,
they worked on it.
It was broken down.
Broken down as the railroad was moving.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
Everything by hand, Gene.
All done by hand.
No computers.
No zip codes.
No zip codes.
And what about house delivery? We started that at some point.
Yeah, house delivery was started when I was in the service, so it was done close to it. So it had to be in the 50s.
In the 50s?
In the 50s.
And that's when houses in Blue Point got a number.
Yeah. And when the gentleman went around with Mrs. Goodwin, my boss, great boss, man. Never forget Mrs. Goodwin. When she went around, they didn't realize that odd and even should be on different sides of the street. And so they go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So they had to go and renumber them all over again. Renumber them. But it worked out pretty good.
And they started at the Bay, I believe, like on Blue Point Avenue. Start at the Bay and number up.
Yeah, that's where the numbers.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was a lot of vacant lots around here, and they had
to get a number.
And they had to guess, and a lot of time. That's why sometimes in Blue Point you'll see 22A and and 18B and stuff like that.
So when you got out of the Army and then came home, that's when you started with the post office?
Yeah, I was once again. I was sitting in Waltz having my coffee. I wasn't working.
Yeah.
And George Gelfer, who was doing parcel post, he came up to me and said, "Anybody here want a job?" And he looked at me. He says, "Bob, you want a job?" I said, "I could use one, George." And he said, "Well, we're hiring for Christmas." I says, "Oh boy." Yeah. So I still had my cane. So I go down to the post office without the cane and see Mrs. Goodwin, and she said, "Bobby, you were injured. Can you do this? Can you walk?" I said, "You bet your life I can." I wanted to get my foot in the door.
Yes.
So I walked 2 weeks in Christmas, and then I didn't have anything. I mean, I was working landscapers wherever I could for almost a year. And then she got a hold of me one day, and she said, "Would you be interested in working in the post office?" I said, "Yes,
sure,
definitely." So she says, "Well, come on down. We'll put you on a list, see how you like it."
Yeah.
And at that time, there was a list, a short list, but she could pick who she wanted. And she said, you live in Blue Point.
Sure, there's a plus.
Yeah, so
You're local.
I started working there, and that was probably 1958.
58, you started full-time.
Yeah. And I started off as a sub. I did everything.
Sub, yeah.
Oh, I washed windows. I cleaned the floors. I did everything. As long as she says, you can work for an hour for John, an hour for Kenny, So it worked out well for me.
Yeah. And then when you delivered the mail, did you always keep the same route, or did they move you to different routes?
Well, we kept it, but as Blue Point got larger, we had to split the routes up. But
that's right.
Mine stayed pretty well. I did a little Roe Park and Blue Point Avenue and Namke Road. And I used to do them. I used to go from the post office to Boylan Lane. And then all the way back to Woodland Street and back. But
that's a hike.
That was a hike. But there was a lot of spaces in between.
Yeah.
But then as the town started to grow a little bit, we cut it back. I just did Namke Lane and then down Middle Road.
Yeah.
And back Blue Point Avenue to the post office. It was, I'll tell you, I think that's why another reason why I like Blue Point so much. The people were beautiful.
You got to know everybody.
Oh, they were great.
On your route.
They were great. I mean, they were always there. In the summertime. Hey, Bobby, come in and have a soda.
Have a cold drink.
Yeah,
sure. Have a cold soda.
Coffee,
ice water.
But then Mrs. Goodwin, once again, I don't know if people realize how good she was. She always told us, she said, if there's anybody, she said, especially the elderly, that needs something, you do it for them, okay? Good. So sometimes we get notes,
Sure.
When you go by Bob Brown's, could you pick me up bread? Could you
pick up a loaf of bread and drop it off at the house.
Yeah, but it worked.
It worked.
It was good.
That was nice in the old days.
Yeah, it was good.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
So was she the only postmaster that you ever worked for? Or was there other people down after she retired?
Oh, after she retired, there was a number of them.
And yeah, a number of...
but it just wasn't the same post office.
Wasn't the same, no.
Because
you don't remember Pinky Sanger, do you?
Oh,
she worked there, and I don't know...
She was was she one of the postmasters? I don't remember.
I don't know if she was, but I know she worked in the post office, but that was before home delivery.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I think she worked across the street here, didn't she, in Jams?
Yeah, because it was a general delivery post office.
General
you went
delivery.
in there, stood in line, you got your mail.
When you started, where was the post office?
The post office was where the Salvation Army...
Oh, over here.
Yeah.
Okay, Salvation Army. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And then...
That building is still there. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, yeah.
Still there.
Yeah.
That was Riney Nicholson, I think, built that,
I believe so, yeah.
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 And then for a while, I think that building was used as an annex for Blue Point School. I think they had kindergarten there for a little bit.
Possibly, yeah.
And then they went up, up on the Montauk Highway.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was a big difference going to that office on Montauk Highway.
Oh, big difference.
It was bigger.
That was big.
We kind of lost the family type thing.
I know.
Nuns at Christmas time used to bring us cookies.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the post office.
Yep.
Wow. Do you ever remember, like, any bad storms where you couldn't get around? Or, I mean, you couldn't deliver every day.
There were, we had a couple of snowstorms.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Goodwin didn't want us to go out, but the
Yeah.
guys always said, come on, we'll take the truck, we'll just get together, we'll bring the first-class mail out, and we'll do everybody. There was only 3 routes,
3 routes in Blue Point.
So
I wonder how many there are today.
I would imagine it's about 5.
5 routes today.
I think so, yeah. I kind of lost track.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wow.
we didn't lose much. The only time we would lose is if we didn't get any mail.
Yeah, if you didn't get the mail, right.
Usually, hurricane. We had a hurricane too, and we told the boss we'll go out. We just take first class, but she'd come out in a car and picked us all up,
She
get off
did?
the street,
Wow.
But it was good. It was kind of family like.
Yeah,
like
it was.
everything else.
Yeah, it was real nice, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you remember Dwayne Hawkins across the street?
Oh boy, Mr. Hawkins, I sure do. Sure do. Great man.
He was a great man.
Yeah, great man. It was funny. He was
a great man.
He was a man that you had to respect just by his appearance.
Oh, yes, yeah, he looked it.
Yeah, so when you saw him coming in your classroom, you kind of straightened up tight. But it was funny when I was delivering mail, he was still principal in Blue Point School.
Oh, he was.
And I used to bring the mail, drop it on the desk where a lady was, the greeter or whatever you want to call it. And this one day, guy says, "Bobby, come on in the office. Bring her right in. Okay, So there's one day, it was hot. It was towards the end of the school season. It was hot, and I walked in, and he said, "How you feeling, Bobby? You thirsty?" I said, "No, Mr. Hawkins, I just bought my mustache a beer." And he run because he had that mustache. "You bought your mustache a beer?"
Wow.
I said, "Yep." He said, "I'm going to do that right now."
Yeah, right now.
He went home, and that was it.
Yeah.
But he was great. He was a good man. Disciplined, man, you respected him.
He was a good man.
You respected him.
Yeah,
And
Mr. Hawkins.
And
Yeah, that's nice.
when
nice.
right now you hear all these stories about, you can't say a prayer, you can't do this, you can't do that. When Mr. Hawkins was there, we had an assembly every Friday.
Every Friday.
And what he would do is, I remember I had one Jewish boy in my class, the rest were Baptist and Catholic.
Yeah.
Each Friday, he would have somebody read from their Bible, no matter what you were. And Eddie says, "I'm Jewish. Why should I read?" And he says, "You find something. You find something, read it." So that's the way it was. And we had Christmas pageants, and Eddie was right there singing in the choir, But no problems. I never heard a complaint.
No, never.
Never.
No.
But that was good times.
Yeah. And what else did you want to talk about, Bob? What did you bring in today? Anything exciting and special?
I brought some photos.
Yeah. Which we can copy and put them on the website, you know that.
Well, sure, you can do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me start from the beginning. I have some pictures of myself here when I talk about Blue Point, what we did. I would say here I was about 4 or 5 years old. Wow. But we used to walk north on Bell Avenue.
Okay.
And Bell Avenue runs into Purick Street. Yeah. But then there was a big hill there.
Oh, yes.
And we called it Noose's Hill.
Okay.
Noose
the greenhouses.
Yeah. And there was a pit there, and in that pit was a garbage pit. People used to bring their garbage and stuff there. Yeah. So we used to go there and play around in the woods.
Yeah.
And there's one picture here. At the bottom of that hill was a stream and a creek, and it ran from Eatondale Avenue all the way down, parallel with Purick Street to bottom of Noose's Hill, and then over towards where Frank Bartholomew had a little pond.
Okay.
Go south, and it ended up at Tony Ferry's, West Montauk Highway.
Where at that pond?
And eventually Corey Creek.
Right down Corey Creek?
Yeah. So we used to go down there and play all the time, and it was...
what happened to the stream, I wonder? Is it still partly there?
They got houses there, Gene. I'm not sure whether they filled it in or...
Because in the old days, we didn't really have garbage pickup in town.
No.
You either burned it or buried it, I think. Or private carters.
I have heard stories where Bone Avenue...
Bone. Yeah, Bone,
goes
sure.
down to the stream.
Yeah.
They used to dump garbage there, and then the greenhouses would throw their clinkers there.
Wow.
And all night long it would smolder and burn everything.
Wow.
And then start all over again.
Amazing.
Isn't it? No.
Amazing.
Yeah. Air pollution.
Yeah.
I have some pictures of the post office, Mrs. Goodwin.
The group.
a group picture.
Yeah. Do you stay in touch with any of the carriers that you worked with?
Well, you know, believe it or not,
Yeah.
it's a shame. There's one, two, three two carriers and one supervisor.
Yeah.
They're gone. Mrs. Goodwin is gone. Mrs.
She's gone.
Purchett's gone.
Yeah, they're all gone. Yeah.
I had an old buddy by the name of Bob Wagner. He moved out east on the island, and I kind of lost touch with
track
him.
of them.
But then there's Kenny Sosinski.
Oh, yeah, Kenny,
Kenny was
okay.
a carrier here a long
That's good.
time. And he's 94 years old.
He's 94.
I saw his daughter not too long ago, and she told me he's 94 years old.
And where's he live? Still on Long Island?
Florida.
Oh, Florida. He went to
Yeah,
Florida.
Florida.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's I got a little group picture here, and picture myself.
Were you there the day they dedicated that new post office up on Montauk Highway?
Yes.
Were you at that dedication?
Yeah, Mrs. I mean, we didn't do anything.
That was
but
Mrs. Goodwin.
Mrs. Goodwin's deal.
Yeah.
But I have pictures of it.
I remember Otis Pike was there.
Yeah, right.
John Foley.
Yeah.
I think Father Noose. Do you remember Father Noose?
Yeah,
I think
he
was
married
there.
me.
And who else?
No, he didn't marry. He baptized. He baptized my children.
Father Noose did.
Yeah.
Nuss. Was it
Nuss,
Nuss?
Nuss.
Father Nuss.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think he was up there that day.
I have pictures if you
Oh,
later
yeah.
on.
Yeah, that'd be real nice. Sure, sure.
Yeah.
They had like a stage set up there, and it was nice.
It was nice. And then
And the
some
poster
goodies.
has been there now for probably 50 years, right?
Yeah, you know,
that was back in the 60s, maybe?
Yeah, you know, it's amazing. I can't remember exactly.
It was way back.
Way back, yeah.
Way back.
I know Mrs. Goodwin had a plaque on her wall in her office.
Oh.
She was appointed by President Roosevelt.
Or was she Franklin Roosevelt, huh?
Yeah.
Not Teddy.
Not Teddy, no.
Not quite.
No.
No, she was a great lady, though, Mrs. Goodwin.
And you know, you talked about, on this outline I was giving.
Yeah, your outline.
You talk about characters.
Yeah, who was the character?
You know, I don't in any way make these statements bad or against these individuals.
Of course not.
But we had the old timers always told me there's so many characters in this town. Must be because of the salt air, or whatever. There was during the war there was a rodeo. Rodeo come to town, and it set up on Atlantic Avenue.
Okay.
Where, of course, the houses
there today.
That was a ballpark. It was a ball field.
Yeah, it was a ballpark.
But the rodeo came in.
The rodeo.
And a lot of these cowboys, they would come to the Blue Point Inn, you know, when they had some time off, have a couple of beers. Well, one character come in. We called him John the Cowboy, and his actual name was John Clark.
Oh, John Clark.
And John Clark he come in with his silk shirts and his cowboy boots and 2 pistols strapped to his hips, you know.
Wow.
And that was John. He never left. The rodeo left, and he stayed.
He stayed.
He stayed, and he lived in Blue Point.
Yeah.
He's got in-laws or a family here in Blue Point, but he lived in a little shack.
Wow.
A little shack with a dirt floor.
Really?
And he would clean it out with a broom, I guess, once in a while. But he stayed around. He did odd jobs around. He did landscaping and whatever he could do.
Cowboy.
John the Cowboy.
John the Cowboy.
He always told stories. He told us he was born in Death Valley.
Really? Now, you wonder if they're all true, but
you wonder. You never know. That's why I'm saying he's a character.
Sounds good.
But he used to tell us stories.
Yeah.
And we'd listen to him and have a good time with him. Then Pop Noose was a character, too.
Yeah. Now, didn't he live up north here?
Yeah, he lived on Bell Avenue.
On Bell Avenue.
Yeah, he lived on Bell Avenue.
No, I don't know much about him now.
No, he was.
No.
He was. I mean, he had two sons, 3 sons.
Yeah.
Was it 3 sons or 2 sons? And Avery and the greenhouses.
Oh, they did. Okay.
But Pop was old when I was a kid. He was quite old.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the story is true. But Pop used to like to walk down the street. I know one thing. He used to like to walk down the street, go to Blue Point Inn, come back singing, you know.
Yeah.
Had a cane all the time walking.
Gosh.
But this one night he went down there and he got hit by a car.
Ooh.
So they bring an ambulance down.
Yeah.
The ambulance is parked on Montauk Highway, and they put him in the back of the ambulance.
Yeah.
And what happens? Boom! Car hits the ambulance.
Car hit that.
So they had to call another ambulance. So they got the crew together and they put him in the ambulance, and the ambulance takes off with the guys So the cops are coming around, cleaning up the area, taking notes and everything. They hear a groan in the back. Pop News was still in the ambulance. They took everybody to the hospital except him.
Oh, my gosh. They left him.
They left him.
Did he recover?
He recovered. I think a broken leg, I think. But,
Yikes.
But they put him in the ambulance. They forgot about him.
They forgot him.
Not his fault. But,
Oh, dear.
but it's funny.
Any other characters?
I could think of, so I hate to mention names, but well, you know, Walt Mitchell was a character
Walt was
himself.
a character.
And his wife, Mrs. Mitchell, we used to call her Mitchell. We'd be playing a jukebox.
Yep.
Playing a jukebox, and she'd like a song.
Oh.
Wait a minute. She showed us how to get a clothes hanger. Lift up, lift up the arm, put it all the way before it clicked, set it down. You play the record over and over and over.
Play it again.
So we were doing that until we got in trouble, but it was, she was good.
Wow.
Yeah. There were so many people around Blue Point. They had jobs. They had good jobs.
Yeah.
They all went to Walt and Nicholson. And,
Sure.
And they'd all sit down. They'd see us. They'd talk sports.
Yeah.
Another character I was just thinking was George Hutchison.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know George?
I know the name, but I didn't know him.
George.
No, George.
We used to call him the Yankee Clipper because
Yankee
Joe
Clipper.
DiMaggio
Joe
was
DiMaggio's
he was his boy, But he would take, every once in a while he'd buy a season ticket. One of you guys want, I got room for one guy. You want to go in? We'll watch the ball game.
Yeah.
Sometimes throw us in. He had Harry Osterman started the Kaiser Fraser dealer.
Right up the street.
So George goes in there, he buys a Kaiser. And we call it the Black Beauty, big black Kaiser. And he'd load us up sometimes, take us to the movies, and of course the movies were only 50 cents at the time. But I guess trying to keep us out of trouble.
Yeah, of course.
So not that we got in trouble, mischief,
No.
But George was good. Always talked baseball, sports, anything, and try to get us to go to church.
Yeah, sure.
That's another story. I went to Our Lady of the Snow.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody wanted the boys to be altar boys.
Yeah.
I didn't care. You want me to be an altar boy, I'd be an altar boy. However, once I started, it was Saturday mornings when we used to ride our bikes to Patchogue, play baseball, YMCA. So that didn't work out too good. So to heck with it. My mother would say, "Going to church? Go to church? Okay." Get on our bikes. We go down Montauk Highway and buzz right to Patchogue.
Over to Patchogue.
So this one day we're riding down there, and there was Father Schutz.
Oh, yeah, Father Schutz. I remember Peter
He's standing on Atlantic Avenue.
He was.
Go down there.
Really?
Okay, we'll go down, Father. We go down. If we go down Week Street, there was Father Bittner's assistant standing on Week Street.
Who's that, Bittner? Father Bittner?
Yeah. They had all the
exits covered.
All the exits.
You were herded to church.
Yeah, but that didn't last long. But anyway, because we found other ways.
Other ways to avoid it. Saturday morning.
Yeah, bad time for all the boys.
Bad timing. So any other pictures there that are worth mentioning? And we'll make copies and put them on the website.
There's a couple pictures of the guys that hung out.
The inside of Walt Mitchell's store.
And if you'll notice, they're not all young.
No, they're not.
Young guys.
No, they're not.
So everybody hung out there. You know? And then, of course, when an individual went into service, his first stop when he came home on a leave was Walt.
Go up to see Walt Mitchell.
Go and show off a uniform,
Yeah, of course.
Then I got a picture of my wife when she was a soda jerk there.
Yeah.
Then the Mitchell, their name was Schaefer.
Schaefer.
Yeah.
They were active at Blue Point Inn. Schaefer.
Yeah.
The Schaefers, the Bunks, the Mitchells.
Yeah. Mrs. Mitchell.
That's Mrs. Mitchell there, right?
This is Mrs. Mitchell.
That's right.
This is Mrs. Bunk. They were Schaefers.
Mrs. Bunk, they were Schaefers
they
by
were
birth.
Cousins of
Vera
Logan.
Vera Logan, right.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
I think Vera's maiden name was Schaefer, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were cousins. I'm not sure. It could have been Vera's father who owned that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either, but I know they were owners of the Blue Point Inn for many years.
Yeah. And then we have Pop Warner in the store.
Oh, yeah, Pop Warner.
Pop Warner was a character in his own way.
I think he's buried back here, isn't he?
I believe
cemetery,
he is,
Pop Warner.
Yeah.
Long history there with the fire department.
Yeah. I love the cemetery. I was walking through here.
It's wonderful.
I came here to set up my display. And I walked back there and I just said hello to all my friends.
Yeah,
there was
a lot of them back there. Now, your display here is all miniature iron and metal?
They're metal figures. It's a lead and tin.
Lead, that's what it was.
I buy them commercially, and then I research uniforms, and I paint them.
And you paint them, each one?
Yes, I paint them.
So they're Civil War?
I brought in Civil War because Flo Olson asked me if I would put a display up.
Sure.
And for Memorial Day. Well, Memorial Day started after the Civil War.
Right.
So I figured, well, what's appropriate? I have a lot of these Civil War figures. I'll bring them in. So they're Civil War figures.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah. It's
Now, how many do you have? There must be a lot of them out there.
Well, there's quite a few out there.
Yeah.
But I have maybe 200
200
figures,
of them.
All Civil War and Americana I tried to stay on. Not that I'm a warmonger, but I kind of like the uniforms.
Sure.
The French, during the French Revolution, the uniforms, they must have had hundreds of different uniforms.
Wow.
But it's a fun hobby.
That must be tough to paint, though, because they're not very big.
You know, I don't paint much anymore.
No, I was say you have to have real good eyes.
Yeah.
A very little brush.
Maybe that's why I wear 2 glasses.
Yeah, it's tough to paint.
It is. And, you know, the thing is steady hand. And I don't have any of that.
Do you use
stuff.
a magnifying glass?
You know, I tried it. They used to have these lights that had a magnifying glass.
Yeah, right.
And it kind of got you a little dizzy after a while. And I said, the best thing to do is just use my glasses and do it. But now I'm older. It's kind of hard, so I don't do it much anymore.
Yeah. That's a great collection.
It was fun.
I think you brought it to school one day. Didn't you bring it to school?
Oh, I can't think of the teacher. He was a history teacher.
It was over here, wasn't it?
Yeah, Blue Point. There was a history. I don't know.
I remember that years back.
Yeah, the kids had made some beautiful little log cabins.
Oh, okay.
And I looked at it, you know, and I said, wow. And I was looking. He came out. I can't think of his name. He was a nice gentleman. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, he said, I told him, I said, boy, these kids are great. I says, I make military figures. And I said, boy, these are great. He said, would you like to show you it?
Yeah, bring them in.
I said, certainly would.
Sure.
And I brought them in and...
And you never know what that leads to, because one of those kids could easily get into that as a hobby.
I'm hoping.
And boy, that would be wonderful if they loved it that much.
It's a history in itself, really.
It's a history into itself.
I did it for a long time. I started when I went to high school.
So they're pretty old. I mean,
some of them,
you're collecting them for years.
A long time.
Are you still collecting? Or
I collect the, like original ones now.
Yeah.
Not that I...
Yeah.
I have figures home, maybe 20 different figures that I haven't been able to... I'm going to work on, I keep saying.
You'll work on them.
Try. Just takes me a lot longer.
Sure.
But it's the fun part of it is looking for information.
Yeah.
To get it right.
It must take a lot of research, though.
It does on some... They'll send you... When you buy these commercial figures that are unpainted, they'll give you, background and little colors, but you have to research it.
Yeah.
There's so much...
Can you do that online? Can you do any of that research?
Oh, I wish I had been doing this
years
when
ago.
I had a computer.
I know.
It would have been so easy.
Yeah.
But you can do it. You can buy them on there too. You just go onto Google and
boy, that's wonderful. But I know I see people looking at them every time I'm here in the library.
I'm glad. I'm far from being an artist, but when you do something...
And you have your name there, right? I mean, they know it was your collection.
I think so.
So maybe at some point they'd contact you or...
I belonged to a couple of clubs when I first started this, but they all died. They weren't from around here. They kind of died out.
And you're wearing your VFW today. You're a member of the VFW. I see that.
Yeah, VFW patch.
Life member.
Yeah.
Are you marching in any parades coming up?
Well, membership is difficult, and we haven't got many members right now that are capable of marching. Wow. But we try to get a color guard because we always lead off the St. Patty's Day parade.
Over here, that's right. I see you every year. Yes.
And Chris says, as long as I'm here, you're going to lead it off.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
We somehow or other we get 3 guys to carry a flag
that's great.
And we go.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. I love coming.
And are you members of the Korean veterans?
I could join. I was eligible for
Yeah.
it, but I didn't join because I didn't go to Korea. They sent me to Germany.
Oh, you went to Germany, that's
yeah,
right.
I went to Germany.
Yeah, Germany.
So I just I stayed away from it. But I belong to the AMVETS and American
That's
Legion.
good. They're good groups.
Oh, yeah, they do a lot. I'm surprised.
Have you ever been over to the Veterans Home over? I know it's off the subject, but you know the one over there at Stony Brook?
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice place, I
Yeah.
hear. I've never been there, but...
When maybe 15, 18 years ago, we had a lot of members, and we used to go there every week. I believe it was every Tuesday night or something like that.
Yeah.
And the ladies would bring cupcakes and cakes and stuff.
Sure.
It was... it's nice. They appreciate it.
It is. Yeah, they like that.
The AMVETS, I believe it's the AMVETS in Patchogue go over there quite regularly.
Oh, they do go there.
They play
That's
bingo.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
They play bingo, take them for fishing trips. They do a lot. They do a lot. But see, the VFW is restricted to membership.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you have to have been overseas. And either in a combat area or occupation.
Like Germany.
Yeah, now things like Kosovo really wasn't a war, but if you went there, you know,
you'd qualify. Sure.
But and then the AMVETS and the Legion, they're not that restricted, so they do get. It's easier to get members.
Yeah.
But they all do good.
They do good.
They do good.
So any other pictures there, Bob?
Well, you know, I got the wild ones here.
Well, that's great.
I don't, you know, I remember who these people are, but the thing is, I don't know where they are.
Yeah.
Some of them, I heard some of them are deceased.
Oh.
Like, this is Gordon Haskin. I'm not sure. He lived on Blue Point, Gordon Haskin.
Didn't they live just past the church?
You know where they
Haskin.
lived? You know what they had? You know where the Blue Point motel is?
Blue Point Motor Inn?
On Nelson Avenue?
Yep.
They started that. They were in there for a while, and then they moved to Atlantic Avenue.
Oh, okay.
They had a house.
I know the name, but I don't know much about them.
Then you have Lenny Mazie. That's
Lenny Mazie. It's Tim's brother.
Yeah.
And
then this is the owner of the bike, Walt Miles. He lives in California.
California. Wow.
He's trying to write something about Blue Point himself.
Good.
He was a hot rodder, and then Peyton. George Payton.
Oh, yeah, Payton.
He was from Bayport. His sister lives on Maple Street, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Can't think of her name now.
Yeah.
Darby, that's another one.
Now, which Darby? There were a couple of boys. There were.
Yeah, there's a Donald.
Is that Bev?
No, there's
Beverly.
There's Don Darby.
I know Don. Yeah,
that's brother.
But then he had another brother.
No, sister.
Didn't he have another?
Sister.
Or just a sister?
Joyce. She lives out.
Okay.
I don't know where she lives. Out west.
Okay.
Chris Dillon.
And you're there, of course.
Yeah, and then of course myself.
Yeah.
I hope I don't disappear for a while.
No, not for a while. Too young.
Then
no.
This is a picture of my wife and I.
Now she's an old Blue Pointer, right?
Oh, she's an old, yeah. Her father owned used car lot.
Yep.
Right on the corner of Blue Point Avenue and Montauk Highway.
Right on the main road.
Yeah.
Her maiden name was Bartholomew.
Bartholomew, yeah.
Bartholomew.
There's another character, my father-in-law. I mean, he was a character also.
Oh. He was in the fire department, I believe, wasn't he?
You know, he was in Bayport for a long time.
Bayport,
Yeah,
okay.
They actually come from Bayport, you know. But they all, there's Harry and...
Wow. Oh, yeah, Harry Bartholomew. I remember that.
Yeah, they all...
So where did you meet Joan? Here in town?
Yeah. I met her when I got off the train. My first...
Oh, off the train.
When I was discharged, I met her. And I walked into Walt's and she was soda jerking there. That's a picture of her here.
Yeah. Very nice-looking woman.
I should have kept going to Patrick.
Yeah.
No, I'm only kidding. Love it. We had good life. Two boys.
Yeah, good life.
2 boys. My boy is living in Blue Point. He lives on Park Street.
One of your sons lives here?
Yeah, he lives on Park Street.
Oh, he does. Good for him.
Yeah. But this picture was taken at the Meadowcroft.
Oh, Meadowcroft, yeah.
Our alumni, the Bayport High School alumni.
You go to that every year, right? You organize it, right?
Well, Alden Olson organized it.
Alden, yourself.
Yeah. And what happened was not too many people responded to it, as far as I know.
Oh.
And I only went twice.
Yeah.
And it was a good. I mean, we met a lot of friends there that had made.
But you organized the big dinner or the big day over at Mediterranean Manor, don't you?
That was Liz Coleman.
Oh yeah,
Liz Coleman
Liz,
and
of
myself.
course.
She graduated in '53. I graduated in '54.
So between the two of you, you got this thing going?
Yeah, because as the years grew, we weren't getting that many people, and the less people you have, the more expensive it is.
Yeah, it is.
So Liz suggested to me one time, she says, Bobby, how about combining our two classes? I said, fine. I don't mind. I'd love to do it. And from there, she opened up Pandora's box.
Yeah.
And we got the alumni. We have about 2,000 names.
Now it's an all-class reunion.
Yeah, all-class reunion.
Wow.
From Bayport High School.
So how many do you actually get at those? 100?
Well, we started off, the first year we did it, the first couple of years, we were getting 200.
200?
Yeah, we were getting a lot. But, of course, many of them getting older, and the youngest classes, they're kind of moving around. So, but the oldest member we have is Marion Densing.
Oh, Marion. Yeah, I just saw her the other day.
1939 she graduated.
She graduated in 39. Now, what was her maiden name? I know it, too. I can't.
Munsell.
Munsell. That's right, Munsell.
Yeah, I'm a little slow on my memory.
Yeah, I am, too. Yeah.
Yeah, Marion.
Marion.
But we have a good crew coming. And
she spends the summer over at the beach, really. And then the winter, she's in Florida.
Yeah, right. And what's nice about it is her daughter and her sons take her.
Yeah.
So they all graduated from high school.
They're a very nice family.
So it's nice to see them.
Yeah, the Densings.
Yeah.
Jimmy's caretaker in the cemetery,
Is he? Yeah?
Yeah, and his father was before him. George.
That's right, sure, George.
George always took care of it, and now Jimmy does. And Jimmy's children are there.
Great.
So it's been going on like that for years and years.
Oh, that's
great. They do a wonderful job back there.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice back there.
So your wife goes to the reunions too, then?
Oh, yeah, she goes.
Of course.
Yeah, because her class is there too. She has her class. She graduated in '57.
Oh, 57. Okay.
And she has a nice group there. They have their own table. My class has a nice.
And when you go there, you sit according to table. Is that the way you try to do it?
Yeah, we try to keep the classes together.
Yeah, Yeah.
We keep the senior classes up by the table where the food is. So
who I'm sorry we just lost was Ruth McLaughlin.
Oh, yeah.
She always liked that. She just passed away the last couple of months.
I used to love talking to Ruth because she told some stories. I'll tell you something about Ruth. When she of course, married Don McLaughlin.
Don, yeah.
When Don was working the store, and I don't know if Ruth was working at a phone company. I think it was a phone company. I'm not sure. Yeah. But she used to come in that store and turn eyes. All us young guys that looked at Ruth. She was very pretty. Yeah, Ruth Medic. She was a pretty girl.
Yeah, pretty. Ruth was always pretty.
Every time I saw her, I used to say, wow. But Ruth was good. I like to talk to her because of her story. She knew quite a bit.
She knew quite a bit.
Yeah.
I wish she were here now.
Yeah, me too.
Because she could have told us a lot about the
me too.
The old days. What about the library? Do you have any contact with the library as growing up, or knew anything about the?
Well, what I did, I wrote this article for the Advance one time.
Oh yeah.
We used to like to go. I believe it was the Bennett's. Is that the building where the greenhouse was?
Where was that again now?
Where the heck am I to find it? Well, it was right here, I guess, where the greenhouse was.
Oh, yeah, that was Bennett's.
Yeah.
Bennett's greenhouse. Yeah.
And then the library took the house over, and it was fun for us because it was old. It was upstairs, downstairs.
And were you allowed to go upstairs?
Well, they had books up there.
They did.
And then they moved to Noble. Noble's house was on.
Yeah, Miss Noble's office was right there. Real estate and insurance.
And that's where we kind of had good times. I mean, the girls would be doing their homework from school, and they go upstairs. We turn the lights off. You're screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
But there was two librarians that I can remember. Helen Kingsbury.
Oh yeah, Miss Kingsbury.
And
Sheila Allen.
Sheila Allen. Yeah. They were nice ladies, and we'd go in the library and it's kind of little mischief.
Yeah.
And they would call us over. They knew our names.
They did, I'm sure.
Bobby, Lenny, come over here. Got 2 new books.
Yeah.
And they knew we liked adventure, World War II, stories. Here. Look, can you go downstairs and get us? We got some books down there. Can you bring them up?
Bring up books.
So when we went in, we didn't have time to get in trouble.
No.
They were helping us. Then there was other ladies there too. Of course, Mrs. Lecluse.
Oh, yeah, Mrs. Lecluse, yeah.
Yeah, she was a nice
That's
lady.
the case out there.
Yeah, right.
The Lecluse Showcase.
She was a nice lady.
Named in her honor.
Yeah.
Mrs. Lecluse.
Yeah, it was fun. Then there was a lady, when she was librarian here on occasion. Her name was Richards.
I don't know.
I believe she married Wally Otis, I think.
Oh,
if I can
okay.
remember
Oh,
right.
yeah, of course.
I'm going slow, too.
Yeah.
But it was a fun place. I
Yeah.
mean, we didn't have, nobody had to say, you got to go to the library tonight. You know, no computers or anything.
No computers. But they did have good encyclopedias. And all. You know, for schoolwork, it was great.
Well, you know what we like to do? We like to fish through the National Geographic and watch all the natives, you know.
Of course.
But it was kind of a fun place.
That's great. Yeah, we'll make a copy of this for sure.
Yeah, well, you can have it, Gene.
Yeah, okay, that's great. And did you ever get to Flo's all? Did you go to Flo's?
Oh, well, yeah, sure. We always went to Flo's.
Flo's.
That's another story if you want to.
Yeah, you may as well.
My junior year, I started going to dating a girl from Bayport. She worked in Flo's, and all the girls worked in Flo's.
Yes.
You know, young girls. And I used to go down there and have my hamburger and chocolate milk, and then I'd walk her home to Bayport, all the way to Bayport.
Wow.
Bayport Avenue she lived. I did that till we graduated, really. But she was fun. We had good times here. We used to double date a lot.
And you knew Flo then, right? The original Flo?
Yeah, because
I didn't know her.
She was around for a while, but you know, as she got then she moved. Her house was on Middle Road and Nelson Avenue.
Oh yeah, was that hers or Betty's?
Betty Edmonds.
Betty Edmonds. She
and
was
Flo
down
lived
there.
in back of the stand.
Oh, did she? Yeah, back of the stand, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But Betty Edmonds was...
Betty was over here.
I knew more about Betty because she was young and there longer, you know. But I remember Flo.
Yeah, Flo died in 1950. She's buried here in Blue Point Cemetery.
Yeah. I don't know if I spotted
her. Her last name was Flo Kimball.
Kimball.
Florence Kimball.
Yeah.
Yeah, but very interesting.
Yeah.
That's a Blue Point landmark today.
Oh, sure.
That, the Sphinx, the library, the churches, they're all landmarks.
Yeah, the churches,
They are. They've been here a long time.
The laundry's gone.
Laundry is gone.
Yeah.
I know.
That's
change.
That's progress.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to mention, Bob, before we end this wonderful chat down memory lane?
You know, I didn't want to take your time, but I'm having such a good time.
Yeah, we love it.
I'm having such a good time.
Yeah. And now it'll all be preserved.
You gave me a list here.
Yeah.
Where we were born, Blue Point. My sister was 8 years older than I.
Oh, okay.
And there's a question here, what did you do? Your entertainment.
Yeah.
And, of course, we used to play together, and my sister was older. She had her own friends, but she had to keep her eye on me because my mother wasn't that well. And this one time, I guess my mother had to go to the doctor. Nobody was home. So I was told to go with my sister. And so she was mad. You know, my friends and I, we're going down Atlantic Avenue, we're going to the beach, we got a picnic.
And they don't want to bring you.
And I didn't want to go.
No.
But, you know, you'll go. So I went, and the girls put soda and some sandwiches and a blanket, you know, typical, not a lot. Go down to Atlantic Avenue. Yeah. Atlantic Avenue had a little beach.
Yeah.
And we went down there, and I'm complaining.
Yeah.
And I said, stay where you are, I'm going to take a walk down. You know, you can walk from Atlantic to Corey.
Wow, along the shore.
Along the shore. And I'm sitting in the sand, boy, I wish I was home. And I look up, and I see these two guys walking down the beach. Guns, helmets, uniform.
Ooh.
I said, ooh. So they come over. They see me, and they come over. And I said, hey, kid, any place around here we can get some soda?
Sure.
There was nothing there. I mean, you could. I don't even know if Flo's was open. I don't remember.
Maybe they weren't.
But I said, I'll tell you, you got a couple of girls down there on a blanket. They got a cooler. Maybe you can get a Coke from them.
Yeah.
So down they go.
Yeah.
So the soldiers come back with the three girls.
Oh, yeah.
And they're talking to me. How do you like this? Give me the helmet, you know. I said, well, wow, you know, I take packs off, and I couldn't even lift it. And said, here, do us a favor. We're going to take a little walk. Here's a whistle. All you have to do is blow this whistle. Anybody comes, you blow this whistle.
Good.
And I said, wow. And they walk off with the girls, my sister and two other friends. So they come back. I guess they walked down to Corey, and then they came back, you know. And what I found out later was they did have centuries. I guess it was maybe after they landed, the Germans landed in the Hamptons.
Amagansett.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And what they would do is they'd walk a stretch and walk back. And then
They were patrolling.
yeah, and then they'd do this for 2 hours.
Sure.
But they just had to make an appearance there, you know. But it didn't last long.
No.
But I guess from Atlantic Avenue, there was the big slip in there.
Yeah.
And I guess they would walk from Patchogue dock to wherever they could, you know, just back and forth, back and forth. And I don't know if they were Army or Coast Guard, but they were.
But they were in uniform.
They were in uniform, but they were. I remember them. I was fascinated by them. They were friendly, you know.
Patrolling the beach.
Yeah, they sat down and was talking with me, and I'm saying, "Geez, this is pretty neat."
It's pretty neat.
But it was.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it lasted. My sister hit the beach more than.
That was during the Second World War. Then.
Yeah. This was probably about 43.
43.
Yeah. But that's about it, Gene.
It's a wonderful day.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed having you up here, Bob. That's great.
I really enjoyed it. I mean,
Yeah, it's real nice.
Yeah.
We thank you again for coming in. It was wonderful.
This marks the end of the interview with Bob Parente.